All right, good morning and welcome to volume, okay, and looking at 3D objects. So using your 10-1 intro, I in there explain about the different types of prisms and pyramids, as well as triangular pyramids and your what a polyhedron is and what polyhedron is not. All right, so like cones and cylinders are not polyhedrons. All right, because they don't have polygon shapes. All right, and also what a face is and a base is. So a base is going to be similar to a face, okay? But a base tends to be what you are not seeing or what it could sit on. All right, and so a two triangular bases on a triangular prism. Here's your triangular bases, this and then the other side, and then rectangular faces, which are these on the bottom as well, and then also on the other side of the roof. All right, so just kind of pay attention. So if you didn't know what a face or a base was, then you can look at 10-1 as a reference. Okay, but looking at volume of prisms and cylinders, volume is base times height. Okay. All right, and a base tends to be a length times a width, unless it's a cylinder. All right, so if you're talking about rectangular prisms and triangular prisms and stuff like that, and you're finding volume, base tends to be length times width, or base times height. All right, so the volume of this rectangular cereal box, all right, this rectangular prism is base times height, which is length times width times height. Okay, so the length is going to be 8. The width is going to be 2, or it can be switched. It just depends on which way you have the cereal box setting. So 8 times 2, and then the height is 12. So if I multiply all those together, 12 times 8 is 96. 96 times 2 is going to be 192 inches cubed. Remember that your units are in cubes. All right. Looking at B, looking at this triangular prism, you have volume equals base times height. And so then the base is going to be this triangular base, all right? And then the height is 15 inches. So the triangular base is 4 times 3, which is 12. But then, so 4 times 3, which is 12, but then you take half of that, because remember the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So 4 times 3 divided by 2, which is going to give you 6, times the height, which is 15. So 15 times 6 is going to give you 90 inches cubed. Okay, so 90 inches cubed. Cylinders, you have 2 circular bases, and you have the height of the cylinder. So to find the volume of it, you are going to take pi times the radius squared, which is the area of the circle, times the height, which is 5 centimeters. So the area of the circle is going to be pi times 4 times 4, then times the height, 5. So 4 times 4 is going to be 16. 16 times 5 is going to be 80, and then 80 times pi is going to give you the area of your cylinder. Okay? Now, remember that the diameter was 8, so half of that was 4. That's where I got the 4. Sorry, I forgot to explain that. Okay? So then you get 80 times pi, which is not going to be 50.24. So let me once again recalculate that. I apologize. 4 times 4 times 5 times 3.14 is going to give you 251.20. Sorry. I think I forgot my 2 in there. So 251.20 centimeters cubed. All right. right, is going to be your volume of that cylinder. Okay. Now, number 3 is kind of your composite figure. Okay. So it's that irregular shape. So you make it into shapes that you can find the volumes of. Okay. Before we found the area of something, now we're going to find the volume of this three-dimensional shape of this box with the smokestack. Okay. And so to find the volume of this composite, you find the volume of the prism, which is your rectangle, and then the volume of your cylinder, which is the smokestack. And then you're going to add those two together to get the volume of the composite. Well, the volume of this rectangular prism is base times height, and the base is 4 and 7. So 4 times 7, which is 28, plus 5, or times 5, which is going to give you 140 feet cubed. Then you're going to find the volume of the cylinder. The radius was 2 feet. The height was 3 feet. The volume is pi times radius times height. So 2 times 2 times 3 is 12 times pi, which is 37.68. So now that I have the volume of the prism and the volume of the cylinder, I'm going to add the two together, 140 plus 37.68, and I'm going to get 177.68 feet cubed. Okay? All right, come in tomorrow with any questions you might have. Work out the problems work out the practice problems, and then if you have any problems, come in with the questions you might have. All right?